Hi, I'm Terry Murphy, Senior Executive Editor for Realty Times Women in Business and Women in Real Estate. We have a special guest with us today. She's one of the rare women that have been dominating in the field of real estate compliance. Summer Goralik is an impressive background with being a real estate broker and instructor for Escrow Training Institute, 6 years as an investigator for the DRE. Welcome, Summer.
Hi, Terry. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. And besides the fact that she's smart as she can be and gorgeous, this woman has the amazing ability to be in compliance, which there are very few women in, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And so I don't know how you got there, but I know you've worked with some pretty impressive people. But why don't you tell everybody that's listening or watching to this what DRE actually stands for?
That would be the Department of Real Estate.
Aha. That's when you never want to see anything except your license or renewal, right?
Absolutely.
So as a real estate compliance consultant, you help licensees actually evaluate their regulatory compliance or to correct those non-compliant things. And it's so easy to make a mistake today because with the internet and that all being relatively new, I bet that's a pretty big challenge. What are you seeing as the biggest mistake most brokers are making when it comes to compliance?
Oh, well, there are a lot of mistakes, unfortunately, but one of the biggest would have to be in the area of trust fund handling.
Trust fund is not just like you got lucky and your parents were the Swifts or the Armors, but trust fund as in broker escrow account, correct?
Sure, it could be a broker handling trust funds in the course of escrow activities, or property management is probably the number one on the list.
I would also say to you, you gave us a list of 10. And so I'd like to go through a couple of them. First of all is keeping DRE informed. Now, is that just like address changes? What does that mean?
Yeah, it sounds boring, Terry, but everything counts. Details matter. So if your mailing address, office address, your phone numbers, your email addresses, anything that you're required to be reporting to the Department of Real Estate, you have to notify them of any changes within 30 days. And I realize that's kind of annoying, but it's also pretty easy to do, and it keeps them outside of your doors. Also, if a broker were to terminate an agent for violation of the real estate law, they actually have to report that information as soon as possible to the Department of Real Estate with a statement of facts. Another scenario that would require reporting is if a broker changes their main office address or their branch office address. They actually have to report that information by the next business day. That's one I see all of the time, mostly because brokers are not aware of that requirement, quite frankly, and there is a very short time frame. Mind you, you're not going to lose your license over these things, but they're very common violations. And when the DRE does go into your office and check things out, they're going to mark off their list of things that weren't done.
And we want to be sure everybody on this call gets all the right check marks. And I really appreciate that. Also, one of the things you just said something about changing email addresses. Now, if I'm the broker and I have 5 agents and they have different email addresses, is that what you're saying? That I have to keep you informed?
So a broker should have policies and education and information out there for their agents so that their agents know that they have to report this information within 30 days. Brokers also have to report those changes for their own personal information. But if I were the responsible broker, I would make sure that agents were aware of this requirement.